themselves that I think I
Xcloud remote play discussion. It's been a lot of things going on. Hold on, let me put my splash screen back on here. Here we go. And there's some confusion. I just been seeing a lot of stuff going on, and I've been trying to make sense out of it. And I put some stuff together, from some of the interviews that have been going on about this whole XCloud thing, because we had Thursday, we had Google Stadia, and shout out to everybody coming in. How you guys doing? We're gonna keep. I know the Nintendo one is starting up, so it's gonna start up at noon at Eastern Standard Time. So I just wanted to just quickly go over these things about this XCloud and remote play, Philness, as I like to call it, because I do think that we're in another instance. Oh, mic's a bit low. Thanks, man. Hold on. I probably move my mic away because I've been like yelling into it. So we're gonna go up here. Is that better? That should be better. I can increase the gain. There we go. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So basically, we're going to talk about this. What I gathered from the interviews that have been going on with XCloud and with Microsoft has been presenting at this E3, either through the presentation that they did on stage and now the interviews that have been coming in. What's up, Greg? How you doing, man? So I have a couple of clips here posted up, and what I wanted to do is basically describe what I've seen in my predictions. Again, I don't know. I don't have any insider knowledge and stuff like that. I haven't played this. I'm just seeing from what we have been doing, and not media interpretation. What's actually coming from these executives' interviews, what they're saying. So, just to recap on what Google Stadia did on Thursday, Google Stadia announced that they have a service for they have a service for $10 a month, and that's their pro package. And basically, you'll get the full thing of Destiny and maybe some games. Now, Phil Harrison also did an interview during E3 with Jeff Keighley and stated that it's analogous, their service is similar to PSN and Xbox Live, where you pay the subscription and they'll give you some games through the service, like games with gold or PSN games. Okay? That's what the $10 gets you. But it'll also get you Destiny at the Founders Edition, right? $10 a month. So you pay $10 a month to access the servers and to get maybe a game or two. They didn't say how many games for free. This is Google Stadia included in your subscription. Now you have the ability to buy games. It may be for a discount, just like deals with gold and stuff like that, in Google Stadia for the cost of a game, probably $60. He didn't confirm with Jeff Keighley. Keighley was trying to say, well, $60. He didn't confirm it. But basically, pay full price for a game, pay for a discount for a game to add it to your library to stream it. Now, you can't just stream this thing for free yet. Possibly next year, if you buy your games, you could stream them, but at lower resolutions. But if you want to have the premium streaming experience, you will pay the monthly payments and get maybe a game, a Stadia with gold or something like that, some games. But you need to pay the subscription in order to, and then you could buy the games, and you could play those games at 4K. That's how their model of pricing is. Okay? So that is what Stadia did. Now, everybody was like, Google could do, Google's in trouble because Microsoft has its, its system coming out. It's Xcloud. They've been talking about Xcloud and all this other stuff. And what I've been seeing a lot on Twitter since this announcement on Sunday, when Microsoft really could have laid it down into Google, they really could have said, well, this is our streaming service. Because remember, Microsoft's been going against Google. We can, this is how we are going to compete with them. Instead, Microsoft came out and threw kind of a curveball on stage when they said, you could stream from your console for free. The library that you have, you could stream from your console for free in their Xcloud talk, which is analogous to remote play on the PlayStation 4 and analogous to what you could already do with the Xbox and streaming to your Xbox app on the PC. Remember, you could access your console from your PC in your home network. People have found ways with port forwarding to do this outside of their home network, but you could already stream your Xbox to your PC already, streaming. You could do the same thing with the PlayStation streaming to your PC through remote play. You could also stream to Xperia phones, and you could also stream to PS Vita. That's one of the biggest, the Vita, if it's still around, you could stream it to the Vita through remote play. Plus, Sony allows streaming with share play. You could stream a game to somebody and they could control your game and stuff like that. And Microsoft has something like that with Mixer. They never implemented it into their console. But my thing is, and I'm going to go through this, is the whole, I see people going, I'm trying Xcloud and it's free. And Microsoft has been going through their interviews with a distinct clarification as to their servers and your Xbox. And I'm going to play the interview clips of when they actually describe this, and then we'll just, kind of explain on how, like, what is free, what's going to cost, what I think is going to happen, because I don't feel that I feel like we're in another instance of basically when the Scorpio was announced at E3 and Microsoft VR was in the discussion, and Microsoft was just throwing out VR and Scorpio, and meanwhile they really weren't committed to VR on Scorpio, but they would just kind of get their name out there to kind of say, well, we got something too, because the big thing was VR. As Oculus just announced Vive, and PlayStation was going to announce their VR, and Microsoft came out and was like, oh, the Scorpio's going to do VR too. There won't be no gamer left behind, but we're going to do, VR, but there will be VR exclusives for Scorpio. And then that whole thing came kibosh. But they just wanted to say they had VR. I think they're in another instance here. I think they were not prepared. I don't know what they were doing, but they're kind of utilizing this E3 and sending out, again, mixed messaging, confusing messages. So we're going to do the interviews because this is kind of the intro. We're going to do the interview snapshots here, and I'm going to go through Phil Spencer when he was on Inside Xbox last night. And then we're going to do yesterday when Greenberg on Sunday, on Sunday this actually was all from, yes, this is from Sunday, Inside Xbox last night, and then Aaron Greenberg's interview with Jeff Keighley on Sunday, right after the presser. And also to Engadget's hands-on with doing that. Now, apparently there's a demo on the stage there that they have for Xcloud, which is accessing a data center in San Francisco. That's per the Engadget interview, which we're going to go over that one. But I just want to try to differentiate what they're saying, because I just see a lot of people going, Xcloud is free. If I own an Xbox, I get everything for free. And I think we're jumping to conclusions there because, as I mentioned before about streaming, I think is a neat option, but I think it's definitely going to depend a lot on the pricing structure. And I think a lot of people got turned off when Google was sort of like, you got to pay a subscription and you got to buy the games. I don't think people want to pay a subscription and buy the games. And I think Microsoft is going to follow similar suit with Xcloud in the fact that you're going to have to pay for those subscriptions. But we're going to do that. I'm going to go over the thing now. And, then, do you have anything in chat you want to mention, or, you think anything different? What's up, Jemiah? How you doing, man? You have anything different? Definitely chime in the chat, see what we can do. But this is, this is what words that are coming out of their mouth. This is not, this is not hating. This is not, making fun. This is, I think it's poor messaging as usual from them, which, they need to figure out a better ways of selling their stuff because they don't do a very effective job of it, and they do more effective job of confusing people. But that's just my opinion on this. So we will go through here. So let me go through the interview here and display capture and right here. So this is Phil Spencer with Inside Xbox last night.
Awesome. I'm delighted that Football Manager is in Game Pass for PC as well. That's going to kick my addiction off again. Now, you also and the team...
We don't call it addiction.
No, okay. My love. My love. When you and the team also introduced the world to Project Scarlet yesterday as well, you talked about your commitment to compatibility. Can you tell us more about what that means?
We stood on stage on the new generation, which frankly isn't easy to do. It's just something that I wanted to continue in Project Scarlet, and it's great to see us able to do that.
Okay, you also talked about Project Xcloud and console streaming. Can you tell us a bit more about the...
And they just uploaded this clip right now. Console streaming and Xcloud. There's a difference. That's at least what I gather.
The difference between those two things.
Yeah, when I think about where we're going, we're going to see games that were created for Xbox are being created for Xbox today, playable in many places. We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible. Project Xcloud is us putting Xboxes in our data centers and allowing people to access those. But we scratch our heads and say, wait a minute. We have tens of millions of people who already have an Xbox One at home. What if they could turn their local Xbox into their own version of Xcloud so they can stream out of their home? So we have two things coming this October. We've got our data centers with the blades in there, with the Xboxes in our data centers, so you can access Xboxes that we have and able to play games from there. Or if you already have an Xbox One or you're buying one this holiday, you're going to be able to turn that into a server that you can access on your phone from wherever you go. That no charge for that, and both of those things are launching this October.
Fantastic.
Clear as mud. But I think it's pretty clear. I just think people jump to their conclusions. So, as you see, your Xbox turns into a server that remember he said local Xbox turns into a server that you can access, and that's free. So their data center, remember he keeps saying their data centers, their Xcloud, their stuff, that is a service. That is going to cost you. So Xcloud is not free. Streaming from your local Xbox is free. All right? And I'll come back to this interview again. We're going to go now to Greenberg's.
big kind of first-party game for Xbox the rest of the year?
Well, we've got the Outer Worlds from Obsidian.
That's true. Yep.
So that will be coming
In October. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's great to kick off. We basically opened the briefing with 4 of our Xbox Game Studio titles or studios.
Yep.
So we had that. We had we had the new Bleeding Edge.
Ninja Theory. Yeah.
Yes.
Before I get onto that, and Greenberg can't announce his own exclusives. They must be that impactful for him.
Yes. So that's going to technical alpha this month.
Yep.
So that'll start being playable as well. We've got the Lego expansion from Forza Horizon 4 available on the 13th. So we've got sort of a lot of stuff coming between now and holiday. Heartland also launches this week for State of Decay 2. So yeah, there's tons of new content happening now and this week. But I would say Gears will be the biggest game this holiday. That's our big bet, and we're excited that not only will it be launching into Game Pass day and date, but if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you get the Ultimate Edition of Game Pass and Early Access as a benefit. So we're really trying to add tons of value for our fans into Game Pass and into
It's very short.
Talk a bit about Xcloud, because we had Phil Harrison here talking about Stadia, and Phil Spencer obviously talked a bit about that. If I'm a gamer watching this, how should I think about Xcloud and how I'm going to access it and how it ties into all this content that we saw?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're fortunate because we have this cloud infrastructure in Azure and this tech that Microsoft has investments all around the world. We have more servers in more places around the world and a lot of tech to kind of leverage that. Also, we have this incredible community. We have 63 million people playing on Xbox Live today, and a lot of people invested in console hardware and a library. So with the hybrid gaming cloud architecture, what it enables us to do is offer people 2 choices. One, if you want to stream from our hardware in the cloud, where we actually put a console on a rack, and whether you have an Xbox or not, we'll allow you to do that with Project Xcloud, so you get that console-like experience on the go. But if you already have an Xbox at home and you have your library of games, we will let you stream from your home Xbox on the go for free your entire game library. And so that kind of choice and flexibility and letting people get just more value into the investment they've made in their console gaming is kind of a nice benefit to the architecture that we have.
Yeah, no, you said it. It's one of those. And
so that's the other thing. So I think it's great that you could stream your cloud, your console to your phones. That's awesome, because at least it gives you a need for your console. Like, it doesn't kind of screw the console owner, but it's still remote play. It has nothing really to do with their servers and their blades in their data centers, the advantage they have with streaming. And like he says in this thing, you either have, if you have an Xbox or don't have an Xbox, you could use their Xcloud server blades. And I think what's going on is people are just saying, well, they said if I have my library, I could stream it wherever I want. That is true, but you're not streaming it through their Xcloud. It's through local hardware from your local Xbox to your phone. Why does that matter? I will explain.
Project Xcloud, when we'll be able to get in, or how do we be a part of that if we're watching?
So we have it hands-on here. It's real. I was actually just playing it with Bill Stillwell backstage. We're letting people get hands-on. This holiday, we're going to have a preview for people, both with Project Xcloud as well as with the console home streaming. So it's all starting to roll out this holiday.
Wow.
But the tech is real and it works great.
So let me just get back to here. Then, and I'll get into that 1 second. So let's come back here. Let's come back to the chat. Oh, where's my chat? Chat didn't show up on the corner. Every time I do that, whatever. What's up, guys? Meds, yeah. Meds. Zips. Oh, man. That's what I miss. I miss seeing the chat. When I see those stupid videos, I'm like, I want to see what you guys are saying, because that's the best part of this whole thing, is just talking to you guys. So, what's up, D and Daniel B? Yo, what's up, Sam? How you guys doing? So let me explain the thing between the two of them. And I don't have diagrams of PowerPoint slides and stuff like that. Sam Ash just summarized it right there. A controlled environment versus outside. I'm going to get into that with Engadget. I have that one queued up here. But what I wanted to discuss is the differentiation between what they're saying. So they are distincting the two of them, like home console streaming and xCloud. I think people are reading this as, because remember, going into this, everybody just thinks that my library is going to be with me wherever I go. Yes, it will. But how will it be there? Is it through home console streaming or is it through xCloud? Everybody thought it was xCloud. Like Microsoft's just going to turn on their powerful data centers, their extreme powerful data centers, and you're just going to access it for free because you bought the game. Now, granted, they're not saying that. They are saying the two options that you have, one, the free option is streaming from your local Xbox. The other option is using their servers, their blades, their data centers. That is xCloud. Your console home is not xCloud. What they're doing is turning your console into a streaming platform, which it already is. It's basically turning your console into a server. The PlayStation does this. So does your Xbox right now with your PC. But that is not xCloud. And people will be like, well, what does it matter? Why are you saying this? Because if you are streaming your games from your home network, it depends on your home upload speeds. That's the thing. Like, when you're doing your home upload speeds, because I've done this, when you turn your Xbox or PlayStation into a home server, it depends on your upload speeds, which usually are much, much, much lower than your download speed. You're paying for 200 megabytes down. You might have an upload speed of 20, which is pretty high. Exactly, Sam Ash. I've used remote play with the PlayStation. I had the Vita. I tried this stuff. It is not the ideal situation. You will try it. It doesn't work. It's okay. Now, Microsoft could do it with their Xbox. On your home network, it might work around the house. But if you're out with your phone, it's going to depend on two things. How far away you are from your home. Your home upload speeds has nothing to do with Microsoft servers, has nothing to do with xCloud. This has to do with your upload speeds and the download speeds of where you're located. Your download and upload speeds of where you're located on in the world. So it's all dependent on your network. Now, the difference with xCloud is that they are doing from a closed data center, that data center is they're around the world. Remember, they're all over the place. So if you live in New York and you're in California right now and you want to stream your Xbox or PlayStation remote play, you're a further distance from your server, right? And the ping going back and forth, networking everybody. You would rather use their data center in San Francisco because you're closer to that and you'll get a better connection. The same thing with connecting different servers around the world for internet play, lag, and all that other stuff. So you would not want to stream from your home Xbox. You want to use xCloud, which is their data center, to play in California if you live in New York. Because that data center all over the place are upload warehouse. Like, those are huge network facilities. Those are just blades of Xboxes and data centers that are optimized for uploading 4K, all that other stuff. That is ideal network. That is costly network that you're going to probably pay for. That's not free. So xCloud is not free. Right now, the free option they're talking about is remote play, which has nothing to do with xCloud. And what they're doing with this Philness is basically saying, like, oh, our hybrid cloud solution. No, what Phil stated in his interview additionally is that they want you to kind of bounce back and forth. Like, if I go to California, I would not be using my home console. I would just go to xCloud. Yes, that's great. Whether Microsoft comes out and says, yo, this isn't the same service as Xbox Live. This is, we enroll this in Game Pass. It's all included. As of right now, the mentions that they're making, the stuff in their cloud is going to be a cost. Either you're going to pay a subscription or you're going to pay something to access their data center service, because they have not stated in here, they have been very clear about your remote play from home, which is the free option of your library, which is the thing that everybody's been hyped for, saying That's going to kill Stadia. But you're just remote playing. You're not accessing their data center. So that is not xCloud. That is console home remote play, which the PlayStation has. And I can tell you, it's not the most ideal situation. Now, if Xbox does it better, that's great. But PlayStation does have a streaming chip and really started with streaming. Xbox really didn't. But basically, they're just turning your Xbox into a server. That's all it does. And your home server, and you basically do. It has nothing to do with that. But what they're trying to do is saying, well, it turns your Xbox at home into an xCloud. That's just double talk. Like, it really has nothing to do with their xCloud. And there's a differentiation between the two of them. So if you're going on the internet and saying, xCloud's for free, it's amazing, I'm trying it here at E3, it's amazing, it's free, or xCloud's going to be free, my library is going to be free, and I bought the game, I could go wherever I want, it's including my subscription. Those are all assumptions, because the only free thing they're talking about right now is you taking your console and basically mirroring it into remote play. The remote play wasn't reliable. I got into all port forwarding, because you got to make sure your home network forwards. You got to do port forwarding, what ports you could forward so you could play outside of your home network, because remote play works around the house. That's fine. But once you leave your home, you gotta have your console on, and also your console has to be on. That's another thing. You know, for remote play, your console's probably going to have to be on. So another issue with remote play is that if you're playing from your console at home and your son, daughter, or somebody else wants to watch TV or do something else with their console, guess what? You're streaming it away from a hotel room from your home console, mirroring it. Somebody comes in and just turns off that console or changes it, well, guess what? You're affected. You got to make sure that nobody has access to that console. Nobody's going to interfere when you're remote playing into it, because you're just remote accessing your home console. It all depends on your own home upload speeds, download speeds. Okay? And it does this already. That's why I think Microsoft has really kind of confused people in the fact of combining this remote play thing and this hybrid cloud. Yeah, there's so many variables, but because you're working in a closed environment, you're working just on your home network versus remote play versus their data centers, which is a server. That's like when you watch Netflix and all that other stuff. You're accessing data centers. That is equivalent to Stadia. That's what Stadia is. Stadia is completely in the cloud. And I remember, and I looked at Phil Harrison's interview with Jeff Keighley, and he's like, well, we don't have a console. We're not tied to any consoles. We're just, any screen is a Stadia, right? And Microsoft's trying to use them having consoles as a leverage. Like, I can't, you know what? And that's another thing, D. The thing is that Microsoft is marketing xCloud as if it's this hybrid cloud, which, like, they turn your Xbox into a cloud, a server. It's basically, they turn your Xbox into a server. That's fine. But that has nothing to do with their data centers and their blades and their 4K streaming resolutions. That has nothing to do with that. This is the same thing as remote play on the PlayStation and on the Xbox with your PC. And PlayStation has PlayStation Now, which is completely different than that, because PlayStation Now works like Stadia and xCloud, where it's PlayStation blades that you're remotely accessing from their data center. And when I say the difference, why does it matter? Because that's dependent. You only have to worry about your download and upload speeds, because their data center is optimized to distribute that video feed. When you do it in your home, you're depending on your home network that you're paying for, whether the thing is through Wi-Fi or internet or cable. You're uploading download speeds that you're paying for at your home, which is not the same thing as what Microsoft's probably getting, or Sony or Google's getting in their data centers, which they're just server farms. They're getting a maximum downloads and upload speeds. Actually, they're probably just uploading downloads like crazy because they're optimized. That's what a server farm is. Your house is not a server farm. You got Hulu's, you got Hue Lighting, you got Sonos's, you got all that stuff, and you're paying, and we all complain that we pay for 250 megabytes down, and you basically, you get like maybe 10 upload speed. Like your home network is nowhere near what they have in their data centers. And that's great. Baltimore, he says he uses his iPad all the time. You need a 5G connection, and it's almost flawless. And you know what? Remote play is going to work. And I'm not saying remote play sucks and xCloud is bad, or what I'm trying to say is that there's, because of the messaging that Microsoft has been doing during this E3, a lot of people, what's up, Eddie? How you doing, man? A lot of people are saying the cost, that xCloud is free if you own it. I saw people going, xCloud is free if I own an Xbox. And that's the Philness. Like that's what that's they're trying to confuse people in that, or maybe just people just don't get it. But because they're talking remote play and xCloud in the same sentence, people are thinking I own an Xbox, xCloud is free, and they're gonna be in surprise because that is false information. And you know, I've seen people playing at E3 going, I tried xCloud, it's amazing, and people are like, how is it, man? Then they're like, great, and it's free. But the thing is that it's independent of owning a console. From what they're saying, you could have a console or don't have a console. xCloud, their consoles, you're paying to rent their consoles. You could have one or use one. And I would say, if you have a console, why would I use xCloud, their cloud? And I gave the example. If you are across the country, you're going to have a harder time remote playing from your console that's across the country. You would prefer to use a local data center from Microsoft's thing. That's why, depending on how far away or how efficient your internet is, depends on that. And you know what, D? No, that's the confusion. It's not like playing PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now, yes, like using their servers. xCloud is just like PlayStation Now, and the fact that you're accessing data centers. But the remote play, what people are saying is that's free xCloud. It's free because you're just streaming your own console. You're not paying for any other services. Now, if Microsoft says, depending on your ownership of the game, yes, PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation Now is just like xCloud and Stadia. But this remote streaming, this remote play, you're just streaming your own console, exactly. And Microsoft is using that in the same language as xCloud, and it's confusing people. And actually, one of the tweets, one of the things that I've seen, man, it was talk about friggin' finesse. Like, where Philness, as I call it, is where the hell is it? It is I put it up here. You want to hear some double talk? Hear this. And Greenberg kind of alluded to it. Greenberg had that marketing talk right there. And I understand it's marketing, but what it is, it's as confusing people as to what it is, and maybe that's their intent. But here, let me get into my replies. What the hell is my replies? Oh, here it is. Because I got it from an article. Here, where is this? I'll read exactly what they're doing. Because here it is. I have the screenshot right here. And hear this. So you heard my what the hell? You heard my explanation as to the difference between remote streaming your own console and xCloud, right? Well, this is kind of the talk that they're doing here. Ready? This is what Phil Spencer says now. It turns your Xbox One into your own personal and free xCloud server, Spencer said. Whether you're using a console in our data center or your console at home, this October, you will be able to use our hybrid gaming cloud to play your games wherever you go. Where you play is now entirely up to you. So there's the Philness. And here, I'll share. Oops. And I say...
Come on, don't bullshit me.
So this is... like... So this is his quote. So, it turns your Xbox One into your own personal and free cloud server. That's remote play. All right? But they're saying your console is turning into an Xcloud. Okay, it's turning into a server. Whether you're using a console and he says, and free Xcloud server. So people are like, well, they never said a cost. Well, if they're specifying that option is free, then by deductive reasoning, what do you think the other option will be? Anybody? Bueller?
Who is your daddy?
Bueller? If they're saying remote play, if you own your console, you have your library, that is the free Xcloud server. Your console. What do you think their blades are? Their console. Is that free too? I don't read it that way. So they don't have to say, well, it costs $9.99. Like, I could use deductive reasoning here and go, well, if I own an Xbox and I have a library of Xbox games, I could stream them to my phone for free. I'm not touching Xbox at all. I'm not touching their servers at all. But if I'm on the go, whether I own an Xbox or do not own an Xbox, and I probably want the best, and that's the difference. The quality streaming, the 4K, the best way to stream will be through Xcloud. No doubt about it. Over your home network, I would take Microsoft's network. But Microsoft's network is not going to be the free option. And I think they're going to go the route like every other streaming service in the fact that you have to pay to access their cloud. And then you will have to buy games and your things on that cloud, just like Stadia. They're going to do the same thing as Stadia. But what Microsoft is doing now is that I think they're trying to leverage their home console market, something that Google does not have, and saying, well, that's your free option to stream. But that has nothing to do with the battleground of streaming, like of xCloud and versus Stadia. That has nothing to do with that. That's just basically saying you could access your stuff on the go, but you're not using any data service. So that really is just an advantage that Microsoft has that Google doesn't have. And I think that's why they're trying to lump this hybrid gaming cloud together, because it's really not doing anything. Like, your Xbox is not communicating with their blades at all. You're not playing from their blades. You're just playing from your own Xbox. And it is confusing shit. And, I don't know why Microsoft well, I know why. I just said why. Why they would come out there and just confuse the shit out of everybody. Because they've been talking blades and xCloud and Stadia and, and streaming. But now they're coming in there going, oh, well, you could do remote play. We're going to allow you to do remote play for free. Fuck, you should be able to do it for free. You paid for the console. And you paid for those games. I should be able to access them wherever I want on a server. You've been doing that, and PlayStation has been doing that. Like, yo, of course it's free. It's all my network. It's my console that I bought. It's my games that I bought. It should be free. But if you want to go tap into their cloud, you're going to have to pay.
A huge cloud of shit. Wow. God, I think I smell it. Come on, let's go.
And then on top of that, we're just going to wrap up. I want to just show the Engadget thing. So this is what people are demoing at E3. So from Jez Corden's thing, this piece right here is a very cheaply made piece. So he's concerned with that, with like how they're going to do this kind of like a $5 accessory. Who the hell knows? But it's kind of wonky, this little clip that clips on to hold your phone. And you got to walk around with a controller. But They got this thing powered by a cell phone, and this is the cell phone's being powered by this power thing. So it works. I've watched people play it. It looks like it's great. Like they're playing Halo, they're playing Forza. It works. This is Xcloud. This is not streaming from home consoles. This is from a data center in San Francisco, as the guy says. But I want you to just listen. It's not on Wi-Fi or cellular. It's a special net closed environment to optimize this. So this is a very controlled environment, but they had to show it in its best light.
Notice that these aren't quite ready for prime time yet. These aren't connected to Wi-Fi or cellular signal. Instead, Microsoft's connected them to a wired Ethernet connection, which means at least there's enough data to ensure it showcases the service well. And it does exactly that. There's been barely any hiccups since I've been playing across all the games on demonstration here. And they're all streaming games from a 400-mile away data center in the Bay Area. It's very impressive stuff, and I'm sure Google is looking and watching with interest. We've been told all the games here are running at 720p resolution, and frame rates vary from 60 FPS down to 30 frames per second. But it's all very adaptable. Depending on your data connection and the device you're using, that resolution will vary, as will the frame rate. In short, they're going to try to make sure it works, irrespective of how strong that internet connection is. Probably the most relevant comparison to make is how Microsoft's Project Xcloud compares to, say, Sony's Remote Play.
See, now he made a mistake there. Xcloud does not compare to Sony's Remote Play. Xcloud compares to PlayStation Now,
where you can play your PlayStation 4 games on the PlayStation Vita or your mobile phone. In that case,
even he's confused. See, this is all that confusing stuff.
Microsoft trumps it. It's a better service. There's less
Of course,
artifacts.
Microsoft Xcloud would be a better option. He says it right there, than Remote Play, of course, because you're just streaming from your home network versus streaming from a data center in San Francisco. But the comparison is incorrect. The comparison should be between this and PlayStation Now. That's the comparison, because those are both accessing data centers. Remote Play is not. So, again,
the frame rate's just incredibly more stable.
Of
and
course.
even though this is a
and
very
I'm glad
sterile
to see it working. Like, this is great. This might be a great service whether you own an Xbox or not. Like, playing these games on a tablet or on a phone, maybe it's a good option. If I'm sitting in a hotel room staring at a wall, but again, you know how hotel room speeds are, man. Will you have enough to play? Because it depends on your internet connection. There's a lot of variables. And will you be paying a subscription to access that? If you're in hotel rooms a lot, then maybe. But I just wanted to just do this to just add some clarifications from what I've seen. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried the Stadia. I wasn't able to get into that. I haven't tried that, but I'm gonna tell you what I've used. I've used OnLive. He tripping. That's right. I've used OnLive.
I don't play this game.
I used OnLive. I used the NVIDIA Shield streaming. I've used PlayStation Now, and I've done Remote Play. And I've done the Xbox Remote Play. And that was another thing, and I'm going to come back to just this thing. I almost, again...
What if they could turn their local X day? Obviously, Xbox Live will continue, and when I...
This is some nitpicking stuff, but these are the two things. These are the kind of things that annoy me. We're going to go right back into this. Two things with this interview.
Think about where we're going. We're going to see games that were created for Xbox, are being created for Xbox today, playable in many places. We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
All right, play these games on a phone. Listen to the next sentence.
So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
What the fuck?
Tell you the truth, this guy's starting to get on my nerves.
They want to get as many people playing on their phone as possible.
Don't do it. I'm warning you. Do not do it.
Guys. He wants to get as many people playing on their phone as possible.
And that's it. I don't want to hear nothing else.
I don't play this game.
What's with kids today, huh? No respect. What's with...
No respect. You want... These people here in the crowd, all these fans, this dude right here just says he wants to get as many of you people playing on your phone. You selling a $500 console. You're telling people about the power of the next console. But your goal is to get as many people playing on the phone with that contraption and strap onto their controller. Who's walking around with a full-size Xbox controller? To say, oh, maybe I want to play Hellblade or Sea of Thieves on my phone. Hope my internet's okay. I just don't get it. I don't get this desire. It just, I think these devs and these manufacturers, and Sony's guilty of this shit too. Get the phone out your ass. These people don't want to play like that. They did not. Guess what? If they wanted to play on their phones, they would not fly out there to look at you. They don't want that. But they see these 2 billion people, which I want to kick the person in the nuts that said 2 billion people, and they just think it's an untapped market. Well, when it comes back and it shows that people are not gravitating to the service, people are not paying to play on their phones, they will come crawling back to the console game and going, dude, we messed up. Nobody really wants to play this stuff on their phones. That's not the ideal case. It sounds great, my games wherever I am, but the thing is, the reason why cell phone gaming is popular is because they're simple, they're throwaway, they're free, they don't have any subscription to them, they're free to play, free to download, free to get you in the door, and they use just touch screens, and they're simple games made for touch screens. You don't want to pull your controller out of your pocket and strap and put it on there, because I told you that defeats the purpose of mobile. Now, on a Switch or on a Vita, or if they had a portable device that would do this, that was a gaming console, now that might work. But otherwise, I just don't see this market blowing up. And that's, that's where it is. Like, they are just trying to say what Baltimore says, like, using a Vita is not the same level as I thought the Vita has 5. Well, the Vita doesn't have 5G. The Vita has like the gigahertz network. Okay, wait. He says that the 2018 iPad, the Vita can only connect 2.4 gigahertz. iPad can connect with 5G. Insane. Well, faster networks. It might work. I just don't. But I'm sure Baltimore, like, when you are traveling or when you are outside of your home, like, you're not going to sit in front of your... I always just make fun of my friend who, like, would play all the time on the PSP. And I'm like, you would sit in front of a 50-inch TV on your couch with a console and surround sound and sit on your couch and have a PSP on your lap and play like that. I'm like, man... But guess what? When you're out of your home, you're sitting in an airport, you're doing like that. That is the best way to play. And it's an option, options. And that's been what he's saying. It's an option. I just think that their target of this audience, it's a nice option. I think remote play is a good start. And I think the reason why they're also trying to lump remote play into Xcloud is because I think they want to get people in the idea of playing on their phone. And then it can migrate over to Xcloud. But again, it's not whether streaming is going to succeed and stuff like that. I just wish the focus was somewhere else. Like, taking my games on the go is great, but it sounds good in theory, but in practice, it is a friggin' headache a lot of times. With just varying internet connections and who has internet. And then when you go to public spots and when you want to use it, the internet's not good enough, or you got to pay for a higher speed internet. Do you even watch Netflix? Hell, not to play a game, you know? Even if you have 4G and Wi-Fi on your cell phone, if you're in crowded areas, everybody's on that network. It takes up time and space. Like, it's not optimal. Your home is the most optimal place. But even that's not optimal because there's other devices using it. But anyway, then it goes on another whole thing about streaming. The main point of this whole thing was to basically differentiate Microsoft's discussions during this E3 with Xcloud, their stuff in the cloud, and the free option of remote play of your own Xbox being a server at home and you just tapping into your own Xbox. That's the free option they're talking about. They're not saying their servers in the cloud are free. Okay? And that's what I just wanted to clear up. From my interpretation of the interviews, this is what they said. This is not just kind of me going off on my own thing. This is what they said, and that's how I interpret it as. So, Xcloud, we still don't know how much it's going to cost. We don't know if it's going to be enrolled into your Xbox Live or if it's going to be in Xbox Game Pass. If they're going to do an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Cloud Ultimate, I don't know if they're going to do that. I just think Xcloud, for me, is going to be probably another delivery system of these companies, of another way of them distributing games to people that don't have the console or want to primarily play away from their console. And that's kind of where I think streaming is going. But I do think right now, these consoles, the next-gen consoles, will be focused on streaming. And I'm eager to see how this works in October, with the xCloud. And seeing, I'm sure maybe a free trial, free beta, who knows. But I do think that Microsoft did miss the boat a little bit here when, off the heels of Google, they could have really just kind of laid down their infrastructure. Like, it really seemed to me with the way their press conference went, and I'll probably do another video on this, but just to kind of allude to the next video, the way this press conference went and the news and the amount of information that they shown and how they spoke about xCloud and the Project Scarlet, it didn't seem that they were prepared, or they played it too safe, or they're too timid in really selling their stuff. They're kind of pussyfooting around and not really being super clear and just being very like, how much is going to cost the free. And I think they just want to throw the word free out there with xCloud in the same sentence to maybe people think that, Stadia is going to cost $10, but xCloud is free. And they want that kind of message. Meanwhile, what's up, the Coon Man? How you doing? Meanwhile, it's really totally different, two different things. Like they people want to say, well, Google's charging $10 a month. Microsoft just said E3 that xCloud hybrid streaming is free. No, remote play from your own console is free. Streaming from the cloud is probably going to cost you probably the same amount of money as Google's, but maybe they just don't want to do it that time. But again, it's causing confusion, and this is just Microsoft messaging in a nutshell, and this is my biggest frustration with them. Like, why are you so inefficient of selling your products? Be the leader. Lead. Tell people why they want this. Like, you are a horrible salesman. Horrible salesman. Tell people why they need this. Tell people why they want this. Get me excited to go buy it. But flubbing around, we're doing VR, and no, we're not, and xCloud, the blades. Oh, and now your console is streaming for free. Well, wait a second. What about the blades? What about these data centers that you zoomed into and flew? Oh, yeah, that's there too. That's our stuff. But yours is free. It should be free. I'm just mirroring my console over my home network. You have nothing to do with that. All you need to do is just do a data check to make sure that my account is active and the fact that I own the game. That's all you got to do. Your servers are nothing. You're not doing anything with your cloud for that. You're just making sure that my account's active. So, of course, that should be free. But they kind of combined it in there. But anyway, it's just... And then the same thing with Scarlet. Like, they really didn't talk too much. They kind of just said what Sony said. They didn't really make it look like it was anything big. And I don't see a lot of people hyping up Scarlet either. I think people have been fooled at xCloud. It was just the same kind of presentation where the Project Scorpio had such a huge hit. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's a monster. It's a monster. Like, I don't see, I think people have been kind of, it's a year and a half in. And, you know, the X really, the power of it has been shown very small. Like, very, I'm not meant small in power, but I mean, like, very little support for, you know, showing the huge gap of power that system is. And I think people are just like, why would I want another more powerful console? You do not show me anything that says, oh my God, I can't wait to see that on the next gen console. Maybe that's next year's E3. But again, what do we do? Wait to E3? Anyway, it's 12 o'clock. We're going to be going to Nintendo's. I want to thank everybody for coming out. This has just been the cloud discussion, and I'll be doing some more stuff, but I want to thank you, chat, for coming out. And, yes, we heard you video. It is the same one we heard you video with a couple of different people in it. But thank you again, Grinders, for coming out. I appreciate it. Share, like the video, dislike the video, add some comments. I'll chat with you there. But I want to thank you again, everybody, and I am out. Talk to you guys soon. See you later, Grinders.